Good afternoon and welcome. We're getting a late start, but we're happy to have you here. We'll go till probably 10 after 3, so we'll try to move things along. I'm Chad Emmett, a professor of geography at BYU. I study the Middle East and Southeast Asia, speak Indonesian and some Arabic, but I'm happy to be here today. I think this panel gets the award for having traveled the most hours to get here from far corners of the world. And we will begin, and I'll just give a brief introduction at the beginning of the 4 delegates. We'll go a little bit different from the order. We'll start out with Delilah Gore. She is the Minister for Religion, Youth, and Community Development in Papua New Guinea and a member of the National Parliament. She will be followed by Shelten Neth, who is a state senator from the Pohnpei state of the Federated States of Micronesia. He will be followed by Ming Leung misspelled in some of the programs, but we made that correction on the website. He is the Attorney General from Samoa. And then our final speaker will be Agus Sholeh. He's the head of foreign relations in the Ministry of Religion in the country of Indonesia. So we'll start out, and we're pleased to hear from Mrs. Delilah Gore today, and she'll begin. So.
Thank you so much, and I'd like to thank this institution for allowing us to come and enjoy the facilities in here, and thank you everyone for coming this afternoon. Papua New Guinea is the biggest island nation in the Pacific. To the west, we share border with Indonesia, and to the south, we share border with Australia. Papua New Guinea got independence in 1975, and we turned 40 years old last month, September. And so it's an independent state. And Papua New Guinea is the member of the Commonwealth Nations, and the total population is approximately 7.8 million people. I come from a traditional male-dominated society, but my Christian upbringing plays a major role in my life and other learned fellow Papua New Guineans. I give credits to many pioneer missionaries who evangelized in my country the gospel of Jesus Christ in Papua New Guinea and other smaller Pacific island nations. The Constitution allows freedom of religion in Papua New Guinea. Therefore, Papua New Guinea is always expressed as a Christian nation. The country is known for cultural diversity with 1,000 tribes and cultures. Unity is diversity. In diversity is only made possibly by the word of God and not by the barrel of gun or any other unethical means, such as oppression, suppression, or discrimination, and so forth. According to Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, it talks about Papua New Guinea, and religion in Papua New Guinea is predominantly Christian with traditional animism and ancestor worship still found in some places. The courts and governments in both the practice upholding a constitutional right to freedom of speech, thought, and belief. A large majority of Papua New Guineans identify themselves as members of a Christian church, which is 96%. However, many combine their Christian faith with traditional indigenous beliefs and practices. Other religions represented in the country, including the Baha'i faith and the Islam. In 2010, report on international religious freedom by the United States Department of State states that religious participation in the country relatively peaceful and no reports of conflict and reported. Public schools host religious subjects once per week, and representatives of Christian churches teach the lesson and students attend the classes operated by the church of their parents' choice. Many still believe that church brings civilization. The mainline churches, according to 2000 census, shows Roman Catholic Church 27%, Evangelical Lutheran Church of Papua New Guinea shows 19.5%, United Church 11.5%, Seventh-day Adventist Church 10%, Pentecostal Church 8.6%, Anglican Church 2.3%, Baptist Church 5%, Salvation Army 2%, other Christians 10%, Jehovah's Witness 4%, Latter-day Saints of Jesus Christ 4%. Some policy statement under my ministry, the guiding principles and the values between the church and state partnership have to be based on productivity, sustainability, and accountability, and that existing partners need to be strengthened. There has to be mutual respect, honesty, transparent, and equal participation must recognize the Christian principles, and that 1/10 of the internal revenue to be given to churches. There is also the contention with the word religion, as it may be too broad, but we must be mindful of the rights of others and constitutional requirements of the freedom of religion. We have to be mindful that there are other religions and faith-based organizations. The general consensus for the role of the office is to develop and improve policies, legislations to enhance and strengthen work of all churches and improve coordination and monitoring of programs and provide for annual church grants. The church-state partnership programs may include HIV/AIDS prevention programs, national government grants to churches, outsourcing programs to churches, marriage celebrants, counseling safe house to domestic violence and sexual violence. The key challenges for the government and the church in entering into this partnership may include the fear of unequal distribution of resources depending on the size of churches, accountability, business, biasness, intimidation, influence, lack of knowledge to formulate policies, or lack of adequate resourcing. The department upholds several international conventions which the country is signatory to, and these are the CEDAW, or Convention of Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, CRC, or Convention on the Rights of Child, CRPD, or Convention on the Rights of Person with Disability. These legislations, policies, and conventions basically shape the structure of the department. The department is far wide and broad in nature, unlike other departments where they have specific mandate of their role and functions. The department is organic in nature, meaning whenever the issues arises within the community, the department is often directed to formulate policies to address and cater for it. Example, like social protection, like electronic ID cards, or establishment of Office of Religion. Government recognizes and acknowledges the role churches continue to play in service delivery, and church has reached areas where government services haven't reached its people, and as such, the office will see and enhance the role of churches to continue to deliver services where government is unable to do so. Both churches and government have one common denominator, which is the people, but the government cannot expand and reach out effectively. Strategy, therefore, government must partner with the churches. And thank you so much for the presentation.
We have time for a few questions. There is a microphone that you can either use the microphone or come up here. If there are any questions, Anybody have a question right off? Okay, if not, we'll now, Shelten, Neth, if you'll come forward and present your paper. Thank you.
Don't charge my account, because I have only 15 minutes.
Let's see. And then, that work? Okay.
Very good.
And you can advance it right there,
All right, this.
or that. Hold it up at that, see.
This.
For sure, that arrow right there will do it.
Just to move forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, moderator. I will try to speak English for the fact that the moderator failed to provide me an interpreter and a translator. You fail. So I will try to speak English. The best travel deal I've ever experienced. Travel almost 30 hours, here for almost a week, and will only speak for 12 minutes. Best deal. I bought the time allowed and given to the missing speakers. That's the reason they're not here. Okay. I bought the time, so I will talk until you fall asleep. But not the remaining speaker. Remaining speaker has only 10 minutes. Me, 10, me, so 30 minutes. So I'm good. Making a boring presentation this time of the hour after good lunch is a very bad idea. But look at the pictures, they're my presentation, so enjoy the photos to keep you awake while I will proceed with my boring notes. Now, how do you do this? Kaselelia, greetings. It's very same greetings with the Hawaiian, aloha, and my good friend, Attorney General from Samoa. They say talofa. Simple. One word for two meanings. Hello and goodbye. Hi and get lost. That's how I translate it in my. On a serious note, my special greetings to each and every one of you. Kaselelia. Amongst many parrot species in the world, this very one can only be found in Pohnpei, the capital island state of Federated States of Micronesia. This too reminds us that God works miraculously and mysteriously. Time is of essence and indispensable. Thus, my presentation is going to be very short, simple. So that's my mission here. Okay. Micronesia. Federated States of Micronesia. Simple. Dive into the heart of exotic Micronesia. That is the map of where I'm from, Federated States of Micronesia. And when you are welcome to the heart of Micronesia, don't get lost. That's the map. Don't dive into the wrong place. Otherwise, you're not going to be back from the water. See, I'm good, fast and furious. Okay. Since arrival, me and Attorney General and his lovely wife, on Friday evening, they asked him, "Where are you from?" "Samoa." "Oh, I know where Samoa is." "And you, where are you from?" "Micronesia." "Huh? Where the heck is Micronesia?" So that's Micronesia. 2 words into one to make Micronesia. Micro means large and big, giant. Oh, no, I'm wrong. H.E., thanks for correcting me. Tiny. Tiny is a bad word to use. Bad choice of word. So I'm going to use small. Small. And Nesia means islands. Total area is, if I will find it, total area is 3.4 million square miles. 1,300 miles north to south, 2,600 miles east to west, equivalent to America. That's the reason I need translator, because I cannot speak English. Okay. But the landmass, because we are from the tiny islands, is only 1,000 square miles. This is the former trust territory of the Pacific Islands. Micronesia includes Republic of the Marshall Islands. Don't turn off the light, because I don't want them to see only my teeth, because the color of my skin is dark. Leave the lights on. Thank you. Where was I? Republic of the Marshall Islands, Federated States of Micronesia, and Republic of Palau. Also included in the geographical region are Guam, an unincorporated territory of USA, and independent nations of Nauru and Kiribati. FSM, acronym. It's an independent sovereign island nation and a United States associated state consisting of 4 states. From west to east, Yap, Chuk, Pohnpei, and Koshai. FSM, formerly part of the Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands, a United Nations Trust Territory under the US administration, but it formed its own constitutional government on May 10th, 1979, becoming a sovereign state after independence was attained on November 3rd, 1986, under a compact of free association with the United States, meaning we are free to enter, work, don't get married, go back to FSM and find your wife or husband back there, but don't get married in the US, just kidding. That's the map of Pohnpei. Population area is 130 square miles. Population 34K. Pohnpei Island is the largest. She made mention that Papua New Guinea is the largest, but Pohnpei is the largest too, but it is in FSM. And most developed single island in the FSM. Let's Pohnpei, known as its melting pot, Now I will ask the moderator to pass out the test papers because all of those are blank. And if you get wrong, you will stay here until 6 o'clock. Okay. Fill in the blanks. Ethnicity, Pohnpeians, 81%. Chukis, Yapis, and Koshayans, 9%. Filipinos, 8%. Others, 2%. Religion. Protestant, 36%. Catholic, 55%. Mormon, the most rapid growing religious denomination. In Pohnpei, now it's 7%. Others, like Seventh-day Assembly, Apostolic, list goes on, is 2%. Interesting to note that 0 non-Christian. Meaning, we will go to heaven first, and then Samoa, Papua New Guinea. Sorry, I have to keep you awake. I'm worried about you falling asleep on me. Okay, where am I? Where is the ship? Run away from me. Anyway. Oh, how do go back? Now I'm lost. I shouldn't have listened to you. Oh, that's the ship. Morning Star from Boston. 1852, Protestant missionaries from Boston arrived Pohnpei. Based on the request of first woman World Council of Churches named Esther from Hawaii. A church was established and eventually burned down due to introduction of chicken pox, not by the missionaries, but by the whalers. Importance of having a clear-cut communications. The missionaries were blamed for introducing chicken pox. So they burned down the church and then eventually moved up. Osamo-san can help. They move up to Matilinim, where the mother church of the Mormon is. And that first church back in 1852, the mother church, my church. In social activities, religion prevails. Anyway, follow your handout. Importance and values of religion plays a priority. Quick story about the king. Oh, we're like Tonga, Samoa. We have the kingship. Who converted to Christianity out of a Guinea back July 1852. He was on a Guinea, and the battlers, the servants, were battling him. Don't expect a Bayliner and 130 horsepower back in 1852 on the islands. And he saw a man under the tree reading something. And he was going to shoot him. Because the king on our islands allowed to kill. No court, no nothing back in those days. So he was tried to use him for target, the man reading the Bible. The rival, the gun, was not able to go, not fire. Up in the air, boom, there goes the gun. Then try to aim the man again. No, doesn't work. up in the air, worked. So he was curious, that king. So he asked the battlers to battle him to the shore for him to find out who is this man and what he's doing. When they approached him, the king asked him his name, and he told the king that his name is Joseph. What are you reading? The answer was a Bible. So right there and then, he was converted to Christian. He told Joseph, your God is my God. And he threw away the gun. Can you help me to find where I'm at? Stop looking at your watch. Can you find me where I'm at?
You were on the page right before that.
Oops.
So go back.
Okay, how do you go back? Don't charge the time. Trying to find it. Okay. Where? Here? Right here? Okay, it is the kingship, still recognized. As traditional leaders, refer people as the king, custom regarding the people and the king. Our NANMARKI's role, or the king in the community, is to maintain the peace, harmony, and unity. Perform community rituals dealing with harvest from the sky, ground, and water. It is not we're harvesting anything from the sky, ground, or water. Means the fruits that we harvest, and then the ground is whatever we planted, the yam and those things, and then the water is the marine resources that we harvest. We offer thanksgiving to the king, and the king turn around to ask that we all do the same thanksgiving to the Heavenly Father. Political organization. We have three levels of the government. The municipal, it is equal to county. The state is equal to Utah State. And then the federal, which is the national government, we call them. Traditional organization, under political organization, we have two lineages. One is the kingship, and one the people's representative, as they call it. Social control, we have the respect to the elders, to the kings, and we have offerings, apologies when there is an offense, with the sakau and other ceremonies ask for forgiveness, with the chiefs, family heads, and clan leaders. I think Attorney General from Samoa would love to work in Pohnpei, because the jail, the prison is empty, and we need to put somebody in there. And why I made mention of the Attorney General from Samoa, because he's going to be sleeping and getting paid, because no crimes. They start late, and now they're pushing us to finish early. Just kidding. Okay. You're going to pay me 2 minutes because I will finish this in 1 minute. Conclusion. He likes that. Pohnpei is known to be very peaceful, harmonious, and very unity. Promoted through the local traditions and customs, based on the teaching and acceptance of Christianity that are supported by the current laws and the tradition. Fast forward, this wraps up my pre-presentation for this afternoon. Thank you very much. No questions.
I would like to come hear one of your sermons someday, too. I'd love to do that. Okay, we'll move on now with Ming Wang, and then we'll finish off with Agus Sholeh.
Talofa. Firstly, I would like to thank the BYU International Center for Law and Religion Studies for inviting me to this insightful and well-organized symposium. In particular, I want to thank Mr. Arfa Edgson, General Counsel of the LDS Church for the Pacific area, for finally persuading me to attend the symposium. I would also like to acknowledge the presence here of my wife and her sister and her husband, as well as her children, friends, Jim, friends Brian, your lovely wife, and Bishop Choir, as well as the rheumatic rescue team that are here, all doctors on this side. Thank you for your support and for filling up the room. You have heard these past 2 days excellent presentations about religious freedom and social stability, mostly from the viewpoint of academics, lawyers, and judges. What I want to do today is to share with you the practical challenges faced by the Samoan government in its attempt to promote religious freedom and social stability within Samoa. That's my wife's sneeze. In Samoa, religious freedom is an emerging issue that has at times caused division within some villages. Samoa's constitution guarantees fundamental freedom, fundamental rights such as religious freedom. The division in villages is often caused when a new Christian denomination is introduced, but is not welcomed by the chiefs of the village. My presentation will explore the tension brought about by religious freedom and the process that the Samoan government has undertaken to try to minimize such tensions. Before I share Samoa's experience with religious freedom and social stability, let me give you a snapshot of Samoa to help provide you with some context about what I will be talking about in the next 14 minutes. Samoa is a deeply religious Christian nation. I say this because 99% of our people are Christians. Not 100% like Pohnpei, but 99%. Whilst we may be a church-going people, we do not necessarily adhere to all the Christian principles. So Samoa is certainly not a crime-free society. Samoa is located just south of the equator in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, about halfway between Hawaii and New Zealand. It consists of several islands with a total landmass of 2,944 square kilometers. It has a population of about 186,000 people. Probably the same number of Samoans, if not more, reside overseas in New Zealand, Australia, and USA. Samoans, unlike Papua New Guinea, we only have one language, one culture, the Samoan language, Samoan culture. But most can also speak English. But please note that Samoa is different from American Samoa, as American Samoa is a territory of the United States of America. Samoa's government is a parliamentary representative democracy, and its legal system is based on English common law. Samoa was the first country in the South Pacific to gain independence in 1962. Samoa was also the first country in the Pacific to move the international date line sometime in the 1890s, before it moved it back in 2011, so as to be on the same side of the date line as New Zealand and Australia to make trade with these countries easier. With the moving of the date line, Samoa is the first country in the world to see the sunrise every morning. You may also find it interesting that Samoa was the first and only country in the Pacific to change the side of the road that we drive on, from the right side to the wrong side, to the left side. This was in 2009. As you can see from these examples, Samoa is a country of firsts, since it is not afraid of making changes. Parallel to Samoa's system of government is Samoa's traditional political system. That is evident in its culture that is still strongly practiced up to this day. Samoan culture has been around for 3,000 years and is one of the main contributing factors to Samoa's peace and stability. Underpinning Samoa's culture is the matai, or chiefly system, which has its own hierarchy, processes, and laws. Each family or ainga has several matai, or chiefs, and the chiefs are the heads of the families. Collectively, the chiefs in a village are referred to as the ali'i and faipule, or village fono, or council of chiefs. The council of chiefs have regular meetings where they act from a Western perspective as the executive, legislature, and judiciary of the village. There are over 300 traditional villages in Samoa, but very few of them, which are not traditional, are around the town area. Above the village fono level is the district level, comprising of lineage allegiances of villages. What I have just briefly described is Samoa's traditional political system, which is headed by the Council of Chiefs of each village. Samoa's Honorable Chief Justice had this to say about social stability in Samoa in the case of Lafayali'i versus the Attorney General. And I quote, "The authority of the ali'i and faipule, or the chiefs, have played a major role in maintaining and preserving peace, harmony, and stability within village societies in Samoa for very many years, so that the country has been able to enjoy peace and stability nationwide," end quote. It is therefore no surprise that Samoa has one of the lowest number of police officers per capita in the world due to the stability provided by the Council of Chiefs. Political stability is also enjoyed by Samoa and the ruling party, which has been in power for over 30 years now. Such stability is vital for Samoa's economic development, since Samoa does not have natural resources such as oil, gold, natural gas, etc., like our neighbor here, Papua New Guinea. Samoa relies on tourism and the export of fish and its people. Samoans residing overseas remit a lot of money to their relatives in Samoa. Ask my wife's sister, who lives here. We also have Samoans who play rugby in Japan, USA, New Zealand, Australia, and all over Europe. Almost every major football team in the USA's NFL would have at least 2 Samoans playing per team. Marcus Mariota, for example, is one famous Samoan now playing for the Tennessee Titans. In fact, BYU Cougars have a few Samoans playing for them, and this may help explain why they are performing so well. It appears that the Cougars have discovered the winning formula behind the All Blacks' success, which has Polynesians playing for them, of course mostly Samoans. For those who don't know, the All Blacks is New Zealand's national rugby team, which are also the world champions in rugby, and Samoa's second team. Let me talk about individual rights and communal rights. Stability and harmony within Samoan society rely heavily on communal interests, often at the expense of individual rights. In other words, the interests of the majority are more important and take precedence over the rights of the minority or an individual. It is therefore inevitable that conflicts will arise if the communal interests are inconsistent with individual rights. For example, if the Council of Chiefs of a village decree for there to be only one church within the village, this can pose a problem if a villager or a family within the village wants to establish a different church. But religious freedom is guaranteed under Article 11 of Samoa's Constitution. But there is a Samoan saying that we have in Samoa, "E sui whainga ai tu mau whaavai." In English, it literally means, methods can change, but foundations remain. In other words, Samoan culture can be flexible, but its fundamental principles never change. So while Samoan culture can evolve and adapt, its essence must remain intact. And this has allowed Samoa's culture to survive and remain strong over the years. Therefore, the introduction of religious freedom and how such freedom is to be exercised within Samoan society must be handled with care to ensure that it does not compromise the very essence of Samoan culture and risk disruption to our social stability. Article 11 of our Constitution guarantees the freedom of religion. I'm not going to read that out, but I will move on now to the issues or the problems that we are faced with in Samoa pertaining to religious freedom. So even though religious freedom is enshrined in our constitution, some villages have chosen to ignore this right, particularly when there are attempts to introduce a new Christian denomination into a village. There are various reasons why villages prohibit the introduction of new churches. One reason is that the forebears of a village had decreed for there to be only one church and should therefore be respected. Another reason could be that there are too many churches already, or that a neighboring village already has a particular denomination. Another common reason is that new churches are established without the permission or blessings of the Council of Chiefs. Whenever a new church is set up in the village, with the approval of the village council of chiefs, it is afforded the protection of the village council of chiefs. This means that no one is allowed to harm the pastor, his wife, or his family, as any breach of that rule would result in heavy penalties, including banishment or the burning of your properties. Recognition is also given to the church by the village. For example, food, fine mats, or money are usually given to the pastor or pastors of a village every time a ceremonial event takes place in the village, such as chiefly title bestowals, funerals, etc. Therefore, any attempt to introduce a new church against the will of the Council of Chiefs could result in a disruption of harmony and social stability within a village. These type of disputes have often come before the Supreme Court of Samoa, and the result has always been in favor of religious freedom. Whether this will threaten and ultimately erode the authority of village chiefs remain to be seen. But villages which have accepted more than one Christian denomination continue to experience the social stability they had always experienced. And I know this because my villages of Sapunau and Potasi have more than one churches, and they are experiencing social harmony and peace. Court decisions. In all the cases that have come before the courts, the chiefs have yet to score any clear victory, since the courts have always ruled in favor of religious freedom. This is particularly so in instances where the chiefs have tried to impose restrictions on the manifestation of one's religious beliefs. Now, I've listed several cases, but I'm not going to discuss them because of the interest of time. Commission of Inquiry. The importance of the issue of religious freedom resulted in our cabinet directing for a commission of inquiry to be set up in 2010. This was to look into whether Samoa should restrict religious freedom to only Christian religion by amending our Article 11 of our Constitution. The commission of inquiry was headed by our ombudsman and comprised of respected members of the community as well as prominent pastors from various Christian denominations. Now, the Commission of Inquiry, they conducted public consultations all around Samoa, and their recommendation was basically to not restrict religious freedom. They had stated that it was unreasonable and not practical in this day and age to amend Samoa's constitution to limit religious freedom to just Christian religions. Village Phono Act. Now, the issue of religious freedom again came up in 2011 when I went around the country to conduct public consultations pertaining to our Village Phono Act 1990. This legislation gave legal recognition to the powers and authorities of our chiefs. 20 years after the passing of this act during our public consultations, the common theme that came out from the consultations was that the authority of our chiefs needed to be strengthened if Samoa is to continue the stability it is enjoying. The public identified threats to this authority caused by changes brought in by globalization, and one such threat was this concept that they said was human rights. And this related, for example, to the freedom of movement, which was a threat to the penalty of banishment from villages, and religious freedom, namely in relation to the introduction of new churches within villages. After these consultations, I did a report with our committee to cabinet and resulted in us amending our Village Phono Act. Now, I'm not going to describe the salient features of that amendment bill because it is currently before our parliament going through its second reading. But in effect, what we are trying to achieve with that amendment is to set out a process whereby those who want to set up new churches within villages must consult with the Council of Chiefs. And there is a process that must be followed and relevant considerations that the Council of Chiefs must take into account before they decide on whether to accept or reject a new church. And the Council of Chiefs must also be aware that if they reject a new church, their decision can be taken before the courts, where their decision will be scrutinized by the court. So even though that amendment is yet to be passed, our Ministry of Women, Community and Social Development has already commenced public awareness campaigns within Samoa to inform our people, particularly our chiefs, about the bill or the amendment's salient features. Conclusion: the balancing of individual rights and communal interests is a challenge that Samoa is facing. Samoa's constitution guarantees fundamental rights such as religious freedom, whilst at the same time recognizing Samoa's custom and culture, which are communal in nature. It is therefore inevitable that these fundamental rights, which are individualistic in nature, will conflict with the communal rights intrinsic in our Samoan culture. Samoa's government has tried to marry individual rights with its customs communal interests through public awareness workshops, consultations, and legislative intervention. The process is a very delicate one and must be handled with care. This is particularly so as the process can result in detrimental harm to the fundamental principles of Samoa's culture and to the concept of religious freedom. If such were to happen, the result would be catastrophic, as this could spell the end of social stability in Samoa. God bless and soifua.
Thank you very much. Okay, our last speaker, we'll pull up there. If I can get this to work. Agus, if you want to come up. Sorry, I can't. There. Okay. Oh, this one's not yours. Okay, sorry. Uh-oh. Now I can't find it. Okay. It's disappeared. I think it, maybe I... I thought it was here and now it's gone. It was there and then it's not a PowerPoint. It was on here already. There it is. Okay, sorry. There we go. And then to make it go down, you can go like that. Yes. But now, we got that tick PC. I don't know. Sorry.
Okay,
It's just that I
get it to
hit the
display.
tech PC, but then something.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. Cool. Sorry. Oh, no. Thank you. Okay. And then you can do that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chad. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable President, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam and good evening. Om Swastiastu and Salam Sejahtera. This is our warm greeting in Indonesia that officially we use for religions greeting to any kind of meeting, especially from government to people in Indonesia. It is related that government down to earth to facilitate any religion in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my presentation. That I don't know. I would like to speak in Indonesian language or in English, because Indonesia very far from United States. It's different than someone. It's very close. That's why they have to speak in English language. Yeah. Why me, even close to Papua New Guinea, she never speak in Indonesian language. Yeah. She prefer in English because close to Australia and to United States. My topic that I want to present here, that I'm a government official. That's why I will announce to the role of government of Indonesia in managing religious and social harmony. I will present here not social stability, because we prefer use harmony. Stability means this is up and down, not stable. While harmony, many people wish and want that harmony could be there. Okay. How many hours for me? Because far, yeah. Religion is a very important position and role in the life of Indonesian nation. This is reflected in the establishment of the principle on God as the first principle of Pancasila, a state philosophy, which also conceived as a principle that animate the other principle of Pancasila. Okay, you know that the Ministry of Religious Affairs, this is already set up in the beginning of Indonesian independence in 1945. This ministry older than my old, even I'm not really young anymore. Yes, this is 5 pillars of Indonesia that we believe in one and only God. And second, civilized and fairness of humanity. Third, unity of Indonesia. Fourth, democracy led by wisdom in the representative assembly. And fourth and fifth, social justice for all Indonesian. Sorry, that maybe this is not fair in the fifth, that social justice only for Indonesian. I don't know for Samoa, for Papua New Guinea. If at that time come together with me, I will put all Indonesian and Samoan, Papua New Guinea. But unfortunately, this is only for Indonesian. Mr. Chad, while used to say Indonesia for 2 years, but never come back to Indonesia. It's mean not Indonesian anymore. Yeah, it means that social justice for Indonesian for after independence. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our word map, and I'll give you the picture that where is Indonesia is. Indonesia, not very small, bigger than even in the map maybe bigger than Indonesia, but this is Indonesia. Well, this is Indonesia, located close to Singapore. If you know Bali, Bali is not part of Indonesia, but maybe many of you, but Indonesia part of Bali. This is totally wrong. Bali part of Indonesia. We have 34 provinces, while in only 1 province from 34. This is Indonesia. I will not make mistake. Yeah. This is Indonesia. This is Papua, Papua New Guinea. Sorry, I mentioned usually is Papua, because this is still our brother. I don't know Papua, where is it? Sorry, Samoa, and I'm so sorry, sir. This is Indonesia from western area until eastern area. This is close to Filipina. This is Australia. We will welcome for you all to come to Indonesia. If you travel by Big Jumbo from western to eastern, you need 5 hours directly by Big Jumbo. I don't know from western United States to eastern how many hours. Indonesia need 5 hours with Big Jumbo. Big Jumbo, not small one. remember. Here. Here Jakarta, this is the central Jakarta, capital office. I see in Jakarta. And if you remember Bali, this is Bali. This is Singapore. Singapore smaller than Bali, but richer than Indonesia. This is Bali. Yes, it is Ambon, etc. This is something interesting. You know how many people in Indonesia? Not too much compared to United States. Indonesia only the 5th big population in the world. We have 237 billion people there. Only a billion. How many people, sir? Yes. With 34 provinces, we have 412 districts. And then city, it means like metropolitan city, we have 98 cities, and sub-district almost same with the city. Almost 7, yeah. This is very important for this, yeah. You know, we have a number of islands, 17,000 islands. This is the big island. Yeah. You can imagine how many diversity, how many multicultural, and how many problems with my country. Okay. This is the population. I can live here. You can look, this is our beginning in 1994. Well, we have a problem related with our topic today that in terms of social stability from religious perspective, that we still have problem in the low level of understanding, appreciation, and practice in the religion. Second, the persistence of the symptom of disharmony in the life of the internal life of religious community as well as internal religious. Third, low quality of religious education. We, in the government, we focus into 2 areas, one in the religious activity, and second in education area. Here in Indonesia, why we call Ministry of Religious Affairs, not Ministry of Religion, because if our minister mentioned as Ministry of Religion, it means that we assume only one religion. We religious, it means more than one religion. We have 6 religions that officially stated by government. Fourth, the crucial in managing and organizing the Hajj, the pilgrimage. Today, still momentum related with managing Hajj, that we have 10% from the population for the quarter Hajj. It means that about 250 people went to Hajj every year. Fourth, synchronization between central office and regional structure, because since 2004, we decentralized almost everything related with administrative or government, except related with finance, with defense, police, and then religion. Yes, part of the centralized system. Well, this is my ministry that we call Ministry of Religious Affairs. Kementerian Agama. Agama means religion. Yes. This is the history of ministry, and at the moment the minister Luqman Hakim Saifuddin from since 10 years ago, almost all ministers in Indonesia come from a political party. This is the only position that can reach by politician until the ministry. Director General, like people know, this is for promotion, for the career. Our role is to assist the implementation of governmental tasks in the religious affair and formulate national policy on religious affairs as well as strengthen religious life in plural Indonesian society. This is a vision to build Indonesian society that characterized by religious compliance, religious harmony, intelligent, independent, and welfare. This our mission: enhance religious city of the people, strengthening religious harmony, improve the quality of religious education, improve the quality of Hajj service, and build good government. Yes, the fifth is related with the situation of the politics Indonesia. They prefer to talk about good government, no corruption, etc., etc. This is our organization. This is the minister. We Indonesia, every single religion, they have own director general. This is independent to organize and to manage every single religion. Except in Muslim, we have another one for Hajj, because Hajj related with the religious activity only about 20%, while the rest, 80%, related with, let's say, maybe more economic. Traveling to Indonesia, to Saudi, not easy. How many aircraft should be prepared and accommodation, etc., etc. We have two other director general rather than director general for every single region, and the second education. We are Indonesia that the ministry religious affairs, we handle 20% of the population for religious education. For Islamic education, we provide their own director general. Well, this is the population of the people in Indonesia. I think I can show you here. Yeah, this is our population, and you know that the Christian is the biggest population, let's say since 10 years ago. Presented 6%, while based on this data, Muslim decrease and other. Christian, this is bigger than others. But the problem also the bigger. Population the bigger, problem also bigger, because of many denominations here. This is the number of worship. This is something crucial in terms of NGO. They always critique us. This is number of preacher and clergy. While I will finish my presentation, that this is the duty of government that I have already mentioned before. Okay. This is religious education, that we provide three kinds of education. One, in education, we provide purely religious education. Second, partly religious and general education, general subject. Mean we provide for every parent and student to have choice, whether they like to choose to select education. One totally for religious, for any religion. Second, they can provide a school that provide 70% religious education with 30% non-religious. I mean math, English, social science, etc. And 30% religious and 70% general. They can select that. Okay, my last presentation, that this is my conclusion. Then I'm happy with this, that actually from government, we support every single religion to keep the internal harmony. We, in our policy, that we support, we encourage to every single religion to keep their own harmony. Second, government support, encourage, and push, I don't know, and pressure to have harmony religion to other religion. And the third, this is something important that not really new, but this is related with a political situation, that from government push, there is a good harmony between religion and government. Because if there is no harmony between religion and harmony, there is no assurance for the development, for national development. Thank you for you all. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. I think we all enjoyed the presentations. I particularly learned a lot, and I'm appreciative of the preparation and the information that was given to us today. I think we're all expected to the concluding session, but let's give our presenters one final round of applause for being here. Thank you. Have a good day.